Well, hello, Terry.
Hey, Sandra.
Thank you for joining me today. It's so
You're,
good to see you.
you're so welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Yay. So, Lisa, why don't we just start by diving right in? And why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your business name, what you do, kind of a little bit of your background story?
Absolutely. I have a business in Northern California, just outside of San Francisco. I've been doing it for about 16 years. I love it. I have built the business and really being deeply involved in the community,
Mhm.
both from a personal standpoint, but also from a business standpoint. So I get very involved in the local charities and the local school auctions and really built the business there kind of first and then has expanded from there. Um,
And you do
then
portrait work, right? Like portraits
Thank
and
you. Yes.
families and that sort of
Yes. So
thing.
I'm predominantly, well, I am a people photographer.
Hmm.
Um, at the beginning, my business was exclusively families and children. And then over the years, I've included professional headshots, which led into some corporate business and startup business and those type of things.
Yeah, and I just love your work. Your work is so classic and clean and pretty and all those things. I just love
Oh,
that.
thank you.
That's kind of the stuff I like too. So you were a part of my six-figure studio program.
Yes.
And what I was so excited to talk to you about is that there's a lot of people that came to that program who were just starting their businesses, right? They're brand new and they really just wanted some help and support getting started, getting run and doing that, using best practices. But then you come in with 16 years experience with a very successful business already. And I guess I just want to kind of talk to you about that because I
Sure.
think, yeah. So what was it about the program or what you heard about the program that you thought that even with all your experience, you could get something from it?
Well, I learned of you because I believe you spoke at one of the major national conferences, and a really
Mhm.
dear friend of mine, who's also a photographer in Northern California, attended and just spoke so highly of you and your messaging. So I acquired the lighting class first, and then because I was on your email list, I was got the information about the six-figure studio. And it just caught my eye because as much as I've loved my business and continue to, and every aspect about it for all the right reasons, I still think financially there's bigger opportunity there. And you came to the table with a proven game plan, consistency of doing that. And I was, let's say I was smart enough to say I could learn from an expert, that the other aspects of my business I was pretty comfortable with. But I've always came to it as a business and I always felt that I could do better there. And so that really is what attracted me.
Yeah, I love that. So that's like total growth mindset, right? Like I'm always talking
Yes,
to my kids about, there's always room to learn
yes.
and myself included, I'm always learning and always pushing myself. So I love that. So that said, given all your experience, um, what did you learn in the six-figure studio? Like what were your big takeaways and that you came away with from that program?
Well, there were lots of epiphanies. And so some of the ones that come to mind first was your approach to educating your clients up front. You're being very true to the type of photography you do and how you're true to um, what it was that you wanted to photograph, what you photographed well, and then what you wanted your clients to walk away with.
Mhm.
Almost like you kind of knew better than they did what they really needed. And then you were just consistent. Everything you did from then on, the pricing, the packaging, working in a studio, using film, all of that was so consistent with where your values were and how you identified yourself, what was authentic for you. And in doing that, it just streamlined everything, right? It allowed your brand to be clear. It allowed the education of your clients to be clear. It allowed your blogging to be, it just cut through all of the minutia that we all thought we should be doing, could be doing. Um, and it made it so clear. I know I'm repeating that word a lot,
No, I
but
love that though.
clarity was the
Clarity is
watchword,
the
right?
first, yeah, because that's
Yeah.
like, and that's the first phase, right? That first month of content is all about clarity for a reason. And I say
Yes.
it's like clarity is the foundation.
Yeah.
You cannot go on without it. You can't build anything if you don't have that clarity piece.
Right. And in photography, and there's probably other industries that are like this, but when you serve a community, it is very easy to be reactive to the
Mhm.
inquiries you get in. And
Mhm.
you think, oh, but of course, shooting animals. I should say capturing or photographing animals. Let's be clear. Capturing infants, capturing high school seniors, all of that is, yes, I can do that. I can do all of that. But does it, you beg the question, does that serve you? Does it serve you in the long run? Is it really what you want to be doing? And you really made it very clear that that's not how you're going to grow your business successfully in the way that I wanted to grow my business and the financial rewards I wanted to reap.
Mhm.
So it was counterintuitive in some ways to not be all things to all people,
Right.
to really narrow that focus. And I have a marketing background, and of course it made sense to me after you said it, and it made sense to me intellectually, but that's not necessarily the approach I took, and I had to learn that.
Well, and that is something, I mean, that's a mistake I made in my own business as well in the beginning. I think it's a mistake that so many photographers
Yeah.
make for the reasons that you just outlined, right? Because it seems like, oh, if I'm going to make money doing this, I have to say yes to all the things.
Right.
When in reality, like the more you focus on all the things, you're actually going to end up making less money because you're scattered, you're confusing your
Yes.
messaging, you're confusing your clients.
Yes.
You want to be special, right? You want to be one of many. So it really is about figuring out what is it that you do, which I know I say all the time, but like, what do you do? And then being
Right.
true to that.
Right.
So that's so interesting. So you saw how I did it, and I outline it in my business. And then what have you applied from that to your business, or has it just been like everything?
So the before I answer that, the other
Mhm.
thing I felt that the clarity offered was kind of a peace of mind,
Oh, I
it
love that.
because by being all things to all people, there's a lot of stress that's associated with that. You
Mhm.
can't be all things to all people.
Nope.
You cannot. And yet, when you think you can, or when you think serving a wide range of clients, there is so much work into serving individual segments that you can't. I mean, there just is no way. So,
No,
uh,
that's
I,
such a good point. It's such a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that.
um, but the things that I've learned, and the things that are on my to-do list as well, is your insight about how to improve my website was super insightful. And that, I don't know how specific you want me to be,
You can
but
be as specific as you want. You know me, I'm all like full everything. I don't hide anything, just tell people
no, but
everything.
so in that regard, I had, so this is like a tactic. One of the tactics you taught us was, and for me directly, was that um, I had divided my portfolio into so many. I mean, it was a such a dramatic demonstration of what you were saying not to be, which was all things, all people, but I'd put them in so many different categories, right? So that I thought that was great because someone could go right to my website and go, seniors, and just go to a senior portfolio. But as I said, it's a dramatic comment of, oh, so you're serving all of these people, right? I
Mhm.
must have had, I don't know, I'd say 10 categories, and we probably had narrowed that down because I thought, well, you know, the more I narrowed it down for my clients, the easier it would be for them to see pictures about only what they needed. But your comment was, no, you want people to not to have to work for it. You want people
Yeah.
to land on your website, see what you do, the variety of what you do in a single portfolio and make that easy for them. And then maybe narrow your focus a little bit, right? Maybe you don't want to serve all those markets at the same time. So that's a specific example. But because of the clarity, the other thing I thought was fantastic is when you are simplifying your business model, the pricing becomes simple, right? And then the thing you shared with us is you offer 3 products, right? Wall portraits, albums, and digital images.
Mhm.
That's it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And by doing that, your workflow is simplified. The education of your clients during your consultation is simplified. The way you market is simplified. I mean, again, we think that offering 10 different products better serves our clients. The reality is that I'm 16 years into it. It does not.
No.
They want to be directed.
Mhm.
They want to be handheld, to be kind of, here's what you really need. And if
Yep.
that's in alignment with what you really want to offer, well, it's a marriage, a well adjusted marriage, right?
Yeah, no, it's so great. And I'll never forget, Terry, I have to share this with you. I don't think I've ever told you this before. But so for people who don't know about the program, there's a live component to it. So we get on and we have live coaching calls and we talk about what we're learning. And I'll never forget when I can't remember what lesson we were on, but I can see all the students, right? Like I can see all the little squares in my Zoom. And you had this moment where you literally, like, I could see the light bulb just like ping on for you. And you were like, you
Oh,
just kind of like had this minute. And then you were like, it makes sense now, right? And you were like, that's why you start with clarity. You start with clarity because then your brand gets so strong. And then you bring it into your communications. Oh, I think we were talking about my sales approach. It was like at the very end.
yes,
And then
yes,
you were like, and that's why you can sell this way is because of all of this. And it was like you were like a detective movie and I could see you like connecting all the pieces in real time. And it was
oh, I can
so
still hear myself going, oh my God, right? I get it. Well, for those of you that, make the right choice and choose to work with Sandra, she sets it up such that your clients place their order as they're sitting in your studio getting ready to be photographed, right? So, but and it doesn't feel awkward. It doesn't feel like, well, I haven't seen the image yet. You haven't even captured the images yet, because your brand and your work is so consistent. They simply have to decide, do they want wall portraits and albums and digital images? And they know what they're going to get from you. They
Mhm,
know they can trust you. So it's
mhm,
really about, okay, so we're all here now to decide what we're going to get, what the outcome is. And honestly, it makes it, for someone like myself who shoots outdoors in a variety of environments, it helps clarify what I'm going to capture, right?
mhm,
For you being indoors with infants that aren't posed, your system is very predictable and repeatable. Mine would be as well with this approach. But it also, makes me think, okay, so if I'm going to do wall portraits, I need to capture images in this style manner. So, yeah, yeah, it was an
that
oh
was
my
so
God,
fun. I just never will forget that. It was so funny. I
nor
can
will
still
I.
like see it in like
Ding!
Ingrid's reaction. It was so funny. So, so did you have any reservations about signing up? Did you have any like, I don't know if this is right for me? And what were they if you did?
Well, certainly I would say, what can I learn after being at it for 16 years?
I remember we
So
had a phone call, didn't we?
we had a phone call,
Hmm.
and, again, I think, I mean, some of the nicest, warmest people I've ever met have been photographers. I really think the industry attracts caring people,
Hmm.
people who want to service their clients really well. So your title in saying to me, 6-figure income or 6-figure studio, it said to me, but you can do all of that and still reach financial goals beyond maybe your wildest dreams.
Mhm.
So for an experienced person, and I think my profile is probably more the norm than yours, meaning the level of success you have had financially. I think it's not uncommon for many of us out here to think, I know I'm doing well, but I know I can do better. I
Yeah.
think that's a very common experience. And I feel that you also feel that way and you're committed to helping us.
Mhm. I
Okay, well,
absolutely do feel that way because I think, especially like like you were just saying, like the amount of care and the amount of love that people who are in this industry bring to it, not only for the art and for the craft, but also for their clients and their whole why behind what they're
yes,
doing. Yeah. And then so for me, it's a mission because I have this whole thing about why why we should be making money, and
right.
especially for women, the power of making money and how it changes your life and how it opens up opportunities. That's, we've never even talked about that, but I have this whole thing about that. And
I am not surprised.
and so like, yeah, like I want to teach people to like, yes, you can love your business, you can set it up in a way so that it works for you so you're not getting burnt out, and you can be really financially successful in the process. Those things are not mutually exclusive. They work together.
And I think your original question was, did I have reservations?
Oh
So
yeah, sorry.
sure with, no, 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 that was me going off on a tangent. Yes. So yes, there were some reservations. One was, I'd never done a group coaching experience before. And so I wasn't quite sure how that would unfold. It was an investment during the time when we were all experiencing some downturn financially because of COVID.
Mhm.
Um, and I did come to it with quite a bit of experience.
Mhm.
But in retrospect, I thought it was incredible value um, for the investment. I loved the group coaching experience. Um, and there was lots for me to learn. So all of those, initial thoughts, if anybody else is having them, I'd say, that my finding was they were all answered.
Good. If ever I have anybody say like, I'm really concerned because I'm actually have a lot of experience and all this, I'm just going to send them
You
the
send
link to
them
this
to
video.
me, baby. Yeah, I'll fix that situation.
I love it. So let's talk about the group coaching thing for a second, because I do think group coaching is something that not a lot of people have experience with. And people feel like maybe it's not as valuable as one-on-one coaching. And I happen to believe that it's actually more valuable than one-on-one
Yeah,
coaching because it sets up a situation so that you're not just relying on me, but you get to learn from the other people in your cohort and you get to lean on them. And I want to bring that up with you specifically because you spearheaded a group with the people that you went through the program with, and you guys are still meeting once
yeah,
a week and you bounce ideas off each other. You have a common language to speak because you've all been through the process. And not only have you guys developed some really great friendships, but you're continuing to help each other in your businesses.
yes, yeah,
Love it so
yes,
much.
yes. So, where do I start? The group coaching. So I I've known lots of people in fields that are like what I call professional services, and that are independent in their work and what they provide their clients. And so, not uncommon for people to hire coaches, right? And I've always been, I shouldn't say suspect, but I've always, wondered whether what the return on the ROI on that investment was worth it.
Mhm.
Um, so the group coaching probably had still some similar questions to it, but the result was it was so dynamic. It was so fun, for people who want to know how it actually worked. You would give us kind of a content lecture presentation that gave us tactics. And then we had the opportunity to kind of process that together and say, okay, do you really mean this? Or how do you see that applying? Or somebody might say, oh, I get that because here's how I'm doing it. So it was this, exchange of information that took the content, the tactics, and then sort of allowed us to process it, kind of play with it a little bit, and share what we were all experiencing. That made the learning anchor even deeper, and brought up questions that I wouldn't have thought of asking as an individual, but the answers proved to be really helpful.
Yeah, I love that so much. You guys have been so much fun. All right. Well, I could actually talk to you all day, but I am going to start wrapping it up because I know I don't want to take over your whole day. I'm looking at my questions to make sure I'm getting everything. So,
And let me just say, as you're
sure.
looking, the group experience, you created this such a positive, non-judgmental, playful. We had men and women. We have people from
All over the world.
all over the world, Iceland, UK, I think, Australia, or
Japan.
New Zealand,
Yeah.
Japan, different people who had different, languages of origin. But you're, you probably don't want me to do nothing but praise you, but you
Don't
created
mind.
this. Okay, fine. You created this environment where it set a tone of community, collaboration, and so much so that afterwards, people were wanting more. And one way to do that was simply by, putting the word out. What if we still continued? Without Sandra, it would not be as it wouldn't be as good, but would it be helpful? And the answer was yeah. So we continue to do that.
I know. I love you guys. I'm so jealous. I'm going to pop in on your group
You have
sometime.
to.
So fun. So, okay, 2 questions left. What is your biggest takeaway? If you could just choose one thing, what's your biggest takeaway? And what advice would you share with someone who is maybe on the fence about whether or not this program's for them?
So this may or may not be my number one takeaway, but it was a big one and we haven't talked about it. And I think this would be great to share. One is you made the whole concept and idea about blogging so easy, meaning that because we had clarity about what we did and the importance of educating our clients, that your blogging strategy, your social media platform strategy was about that process. And you said, sit down, ask those key questions your clients would ask of you, and use that as the reason for blogging. And I'm a skeptical social media gal. And so I think there's so much out there. Why add to the minutia? But if I'm thinking about my clients and I'm thinking about what I want them to know and how can I better serve them, educating them makes perfect sense. And it also simplified the whole fear and time investment around, publishing either microblogs, micro Facebook, writing blogs on your website. You just made it so easy. That was worth its weight.
Oh, I love hearing that. Program. Yeah, because people get so scared about blogging, but when you realize, like, no, this is marketing, and not only is it marketing, it's like some of the best, most effective marketing you can do.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Terry, hold on for just 1 second. There's someone at my door.
Oh,
weird.
Who could it be?
I don't know.
Let's go see.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I had to run to the door, but okay, we're going to wrap up really quick.
Sure.
But one piece of advice that you would like to give somebody on the fence.
Take the class. Take the class. You will not be disappointed. It will change everything. So take it.
I love that. Well, Terry, thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it. I could talk to you all day, as you know.
Me too.
But I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And I'm going to pop in on your extra class one of these days.
Please do.
Okay.
Welcome. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.